5:50 in the morning. The house is quiet. You're standing in the kitchen in your socks, waiting for the coffee to brew. Your hands are cold. Your digestion from yesterday still feels unfinished. There's this general sluggishness that clings to you for the first hour of the day like fog on a windshield. What if I told you there's something you can do in 30 seconds, before the coffee, before the breakfast, before anything, that wakes up your circulation, your stomach acid, and your metabolism all at once? Warm water, cayenne pepper. That's it. 1 glass, 1 pinch, every morning. When you sleep, 7-8 hours, your entire digestive system goes quiet. Your stomach acid drops. Your intestinal motility slows down. Your blood circulation reduces, especially to your extremities. That's why your fingers and toes are cold in the morning. That's why you feel thick and slow until you've been awake for a while. Cayenne in warm water does 3 things simultaneously. First, it stimulates the production of hydrochloric acid in your stomach. That's the acid you need to properly break down protein, absorb minerals like iron and calcium, and defend against bacteria. Many people over 50 actually produce less stomach acid than they used to, which leads to bloating, gas, and feeling heavy after meals. Cayenne addresses this directly. Second, capsaicin is a vasodilator. It relaxes and expands your blood vessels. Blood flows more freely, especially to your hands, feet, and peripheral tissues. That cold hands feeling that follows you into the morning? This is its answer. Third, thermogenesis. Capsaicin raises your metabolic rate slightly. Your body generates heat. It wakes up. Not in a jittery caffeine crash way, in a slow, warm, building way, like turning up a thermostat gently. Here's the exact method. I've experimented with this a lot, so let me save you the trial and error. 8 ounces of warm water. I mean warm, like bath water temperature. Comfortable to drink without blowing on it. Not hot from the kettle, not room temperature either. The warmth itself helps stimulate digestion, and it helps the cayenne dissolve better. Into that glass, stir 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That's 1/2 of a 1/4 teaspoon, a small pinch. It will barely color the water, a faint amber. Stir it well. Drink it in steady sips over about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Don't chug it. Don't let it sit at the bottom untouched either. Keep stirring as you drink. I'm going to be honest with you about my first experience with this. I made it too strong. I put in a full 1/4 teaspoon because I thought, I eat spicy food, I can handle it. My eyes watered. My nose started running. I felt like I'd been punched in the sinuses, and my stomach, which was empty, protested loudly for about 10 minutes. So I dialed it back. Way back. 1/8 of a teaspoon. And that was a completely different experience. A gentle warmth spreading from the center outward. No protest, no drama, just activation. Like my body got the message, okay, we're awake now, let's go. After about a week of doing this consistently, I noticed 2 things. First, my hands were warm by the time I finished the glass. Not just less cold, warm. And second, I wasn't reaching for that second cup of coffee anymore. The energy came from somewhere inside, not from a cup. Let me talk about what's happening to your digestion specifically, because this matters a lot for people in their 50s and 60s. As we age, our stomach acid production naturally declines. This is called hypochlorhydria, and it's far more common than most people realize. Low stomach acid means you don't break down proteins properly. You don't absorb B12 well. You don't absorb iron or magnesium as efficiently. And undigested food sits in your gut longer, fermenting, producing gas and bloating. Cayenne in warm water on an empty stomach is one of the simplest ways to gently stimulate acid production without taking a supplement. It's like sending a polite wake-up call to your stomach lining. Time to produce, we've got food coming. Some people notice they can eat a bigger breakfast with less bloating after doing this for a week. That's the acid production normalizing. Your stomach is actually doing its job properly again. Now, the circulation piece. Let me make this real for a moment. If you're someone who, at this stage of life, notices cold fingers while reading in your armchair, or your feet are cold in bed even with socks on, or you get that tingling numbness in your toes when you're sitting too long, that's reduced peripheral circulation. And while there can be serious underlying causes that deserve medical attention, for many people, it's simply that blood vessels have become less responsive over time. Capsaicin relaxes the smooth muscle in blood vessel walls. It allows them to open wider. Research from the University of Rochester Medical Center confirms that Cayenne may help ease symptoms of poor circulation, including conditions like Raynaud's disease, where blood vessels in the fingers and toes overreact to cold. This doesn't happen from one glass. It builds over days and weeks of consistent use. The vascular system responds to regular stimulation. You're training your blood vessels to be more responsive. It's a gradual shift, not an instant fix. Let me give you a variation for people who find even the 1/8 teaspoon too harsh on an empty stomach. Add half a teaspoon of raw honey to the warm cayenne water. The honey provides a thin coating for your stomach lining, and it smooths the taste considerably. Some people add a squeeze of lemon too, maybe a quarter of a lemon, which adds vitamin C and its own digestive benefits. Cayenne, warm water, honey, lemon. That's the full morning tonic if you want it. Personally, I go plain now, just water and cayenne. I got used to it. But for the first 2 weeks, the honey made all the difference. No shame in the training wheels. They get you there just the same. I want to address a question I know some of you are thinking. Won't this hurt my stomach? Here's what the research shows, and this might surprise you. Capsaicin in moderate doses has actually been shown to protect gastric mucosa. It stimulates mucus production in the stomach lining, which acts as a protective barrier. There's even evidence that capsaicin may help defend against the bacterium H. pylori, the one linked to ulcers. That said, if you have an active ulcer right now, or you've been diagnosed with severe gastritis that you're actively treating, don't start this without talking to your gastroenterologist. An active wound in your stomach lining is different from healthy tissue. You wouldn't put hot sauce on a cut on your hand. Same logic. But for people with normal stomach health who are just worried about the spice, at 1/8 of a teaspoon in a full cup of warm water, this is about as gentle as cayenne gets. You're fine. Start there and see how you feel. After about 3 weeks of this morning ritual, here's what people typically report. Warmer extremities throughout the day. Less bloating after meals. More consistent energy without the afternoon crash, and, interestingly, slightly less appetite at breakfast, leading to better portioned meals. That last one connects to something researchers at the University of Laval in Quebec found, that capsaicin can reduce appetite by shifting how your body sources energy. Instead of demanding more food, it pulls from existing fat stores for fuel, the thermogenic effect at work. I'm not calling this a weight loss trick. That would be overselling it. But as one small piece of a bigger picture, a morning ritual that supports digestion, circulation, and energy, it earns its place. Safety checkpoint. If you're on blood pressure medication, cayenne can lower blood pressure slightly on its own. That might mean your medication is more effective than expected. Monitor and discuss with your doctor. If you're on blood thinners, same awareness. Capsaicin has mild anticoagulant properties. If you're pregnant or nursing, consult your healthcare provider before making this a daily habit. And if at any point this causes persistent stomach pain, heartburn, or any discomfort that doesn't resolve, stop. Your body is telling you something. If this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is for people who want practical, natural approaches to how their body feels every day. Things you can try tonight. Things that cost almost nothing. Things that actually help. If this made you think of someone, your spouse, your neighbor, the friend who always has cold hands, share it with them. Sometimes a small link is the biggest kindness. 1/8 of a teaspoon. Warm water. 30 seconds of your morning. Before the coffee. Before anything. Tomorrow. See what your body says. Mine said thank you. I think yours might too.